That is a jam question on fractional indices. If you remember, there was a time I talked about indices. When you talk about indices, you are talking about powers. You understand? Indices, indices. You understand? The singular form is what? Index. You understand? Index. You understand? Power. That is what it means. So this is copied from what? JAMB past questions papers, and I want us to solve it briefly. You understand? This is fractional indices. If you have this, if you have 4 raised to power 2, this is not a fractional indices because the power is not in fraction. But what we are having on the board, the powers are what? Fractions. And even to make it more complicated, one of the powers is in negative form. So there are some rules you need to understand before you can actually solve this. Unlike when you have 4 raised to power 2, you know that it means 4 times 4, which is equal to what? 16. You understand? But what if they raise this one to power half? 4 raised to power half. You understand? This one will lead you to what? This root sign. This one will tell you that. You understand? This one will tell you that square root of 4 raised to power what? 1. You understand? Now I will explain. So when you have 16, let's bring the question back. 16 raised to power what? 3 divided by 4, close bracket, another bracket, 8 raised to power what? Minus 1 divided by what? 3. These are the questions we are told to simplify. Now, what you need to understand, when you see 16 raised to power 3 divided by 4, they are telling you to take the 4th root of what? 16. You understand? When a number is raised to a fraction, the denominator of that fraction should be the root. Indicates the root of the base of that indices that you should take. You understand? So as 16 is raised to power 3 divided by 4, you are going to take the 4th root of 16 and then raise it to power 3. You understand? Then here is another rule. You understand? This one here is a negative power. And whenever a number is raised to power, a negative power, you are going to divide 1 by that number. For example, if you have 4 raised to power what? Negative 1. Or negative 2. Let's say even negative 2. What are you going to do? This one is equal to what? 1 divided by 4 raised to power 2. The same way, when you have 4 raised to power minus 1, it is equal to what? 1 divided by 4 raised to power what? 1. So I believe this rule is understood. So this is the rule we are going to apply here. So 16 raised to power 1 raised to power 3 divided by 4 means the 4th root of 16. The 4th root of 16 is raised to power what? 3. You understand? Then another bracket gives us 8. This other bracket now is giving us 1 divided by what? The 3rd root of 8. You understand? The 3rd root of 8. You understand? Raised to power of 1. You can see what we have just done now. Now, what is the 4th root of 16? 4th root of 16 means the number that you will multiply by itself 4 times to get 16. 2 is that number. See, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 will give you what? 16. That is the 4th root of 16. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 will give you 16. So 2 is the 4th root of what? 16. So we are going to remove that root sign now to have what? 4th root of 16 is actually 2. So our bracket is into 2. And raised to power 3. I told you that the numerator of the fraction, which is the power of the base, is the power of this the root of that base number. So the other bracket here, what is the 3rd root of 8? 3rd root of 8 is the number you multiply by itself 3 times to have 8. The number is still 2. 2 times 2 times 2 will give us what? 8. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is giving us 8. So the third root, or sorry, the cube root rather, the cube root of 8 is actually what? Is 2. So we still have 2 here, but this time around, it is what? It divides 1 raised to power 1. And remember, anything raised to power 1 is what? The same. So let me clean from here so that we can use the board. Remember, this is our question, so I'm not erasing it. This is our question. So this is where we are. 2 raised to power what? 2 raised to power 3 multiplied by what? 1 divided by 2 raised to power what? 1. This is where we are. I told you that anything, if you raise any number to the power of 1, that number remains the same. So 2 raised to power 2 will give us what? Will give us 4. And remember that bracket means multiplication. Bracket means multiplication. So if we are going to have our 4 multiplied by, 2 raised to power 3. This is 2 raised to power 3, not 2 raised to power 2. Please, pardon. 2 raised to power 3 means 2 times 2 times 2. You understand? 2 times 2 times 2, which is what? Which is equal to 8. You understand? So 2 raised to power 3 will give us 8. So from this bracket, we have our 8 multiplied by. I told you that anything raised to power 1 is the same as that thing. So we are going to have 1 divided by 2 here. Multiply, 1 is the denominator of 8 here. So we are going to have 8 multiplied by 1 will give us 8, and 1 multiplied by 2 will give us 2. When you divide 8 by 2, what do we have? We have 4. So 4 is our final answer. Thank you very much for watching.